Have you ever found yourself stuck in the same painful relationship cycles? Maybe you start dating someone kind and supportive, someone who makes you feel safe, but after a while you start feeling bored, disconnected, or even trapped. Or maybe you have felt an unexplainable pull toward partners who are emotionally unavailable, unpredictable, or even hurtful people you know aren't good for you. But you can't seem to let go. It's heartbreaking. But here is the truth. This isn't about conscious choices. When we are emotionally stuck, what feels like a choice is often driven by deep emotional patterns, unresolved experiences wired into our brains. Namaste. I'm Dumber, a clinical psychologist, sharing weekly videos on mental health tips and emotional well being. My goal is to help you better understand yourself, build healthier relationships, and create a more balanced emotional life. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I keep ending up in the same unhealthy relationships? What's wrong with me? But what if the real reason runs deeper? What if your relationship patterns aren't failures, but emotional habits your brain developed to survive the past? When you understand this, you can stop blaming yourself and start healing the root cause. Here is the good news. Understanding your attachment style can help you break free from unhealthy patterns and build stronger, healthier relationships. Not just romantically, but also with friends, family, and colleagues. You're not broken, and change is possible. Emotional healing isn't about trying harder, it's about understanding yourself on a deeper level. In this video, you will learn why attachment patterns form and how they shape your emotional world, how they impact relationships, both positively and negatively, practical strategies to reshape them so you can create more meaningful and secure connections. I know it's tempting to click on another video thinking I will come back to this later. But if you have watched this far, your journey toward understanding yourself has already begun. Stay with me. You might discover something transformational that changes how you approach relationships forever. Are you wondering if it's truly possible to change how you connect with others? Or if you're just wired that way forever? The answer might surprise you. Yes, you can change your attachment style. While your past shapes how you connect with people today, it doesn't have to define your future. If left unaddressed, unhealthy attachment patterns can cause emotional distress, insecurity, and strained relationships. But with the right tools and consistent effort, change is not just possible, it's achievable. Think of it like learning a new skill. Just as practicing an instrument like the guitar improves your playing, practicing healthier emotional habits can reshape how you approach relationships. Emotional security isn't a fixed trait, you can develop it with time. Research on neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt, shows that repeated emotional experiences can rewire how your brain processes relationships. With time and patience, you can build healthier attachment patterns and experience more secure, fulfilling connections. Now, let's dive into specific strategies, starting with anxious attachment. Stay with me as we walk through each attachment style one by one. Resist that rush. Your mind might be searching for an easy reward, but trust me, understanding yourself will be so much more rewarding. Do you ever feel like you are riding an emotional roller coaster in relationships, constantly seeking reassurance, fearing abandonment, or overthinking every interaction? This might be anxious attachment at work. It can feel draining, making relationships hard to maintain. You may feel stuck in a cycle of craving closeness while constantly fearing it won't last. Step 1, practice self soothing. Let's start with self soothing. It's a simple way to calm yourself when emotions run high, especially in stressful situations like waiting for a text back or feeling ignored. Here is a quick exercise you can try. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds and exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Repeat this few times until you start to feel more grounded. Here is a bonus tip. If your mind is racing, try a grounding technique. Look around the room and notice 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and one thing you can taste. It brings your focus back to the present moment. When you are anxious, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, your breathing quickens, and it's hard to think clearly. Self soothing techniques signal your nervous system to calm down, helping you think more clearly and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Research shows that breathing exercises activate the body's rest and relax system, reducing stress hormones like cortisols. That's why mindful breathing is one of the most effective tools for calming anxiety. Step 2, challenge negative thoughts. Next, let's talk about challenging negative thoughts. When something goes wrong, your brain might jump to the worst case scenario. But often, those thoughts aren't based on reality, they are just assumptions. Here is how to change negative thinking. Imagine your partner doesn't call when they said they would. Instead of assuming they don't care about me, ask yourself, is there real evidence for this? Could something else be going on? Maybe they got stuck at work or lost track of time. Pause before reacting. Don't let negative assumptions take control over you. When you are anxious, your brain tends to assume the worst because it's wired to protect you from threats. But in relationships, this often creates unnecessary conflict. Challenging negative thoughts help you pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. Research from cognitive behavior therapy shows that reframing negative thoughts is one of the most effective tools for reducing anxiety and improving communication. Studies found that challenging assumptions leads to better emotional regulation and healthy relationships. Step 3, finally, let's talk about building a life outside your relationship. It means creating a fulfilling world of your own beyond your partner. Here is how to start. Take a course or learn a new skill. Try something you are curious about, like art, cooking, coding, or even a fitness class. Reconnect with friends. Make time for regular hangouts or coffee catch ups. Set personal goals. Work towards something meaningful, like learning a language or starting a new hobby. So, why this is important? When you rely solely on your partner for emotional support, it can create dependency and relationship stress. But having your own life, hobbies, and goals boost your confidence, self esteem, and emotional stability. Studies in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people with strong personal identities outside their relationships experience better emotional balance and greater relationship satisfaction. Now that you understand how to manage anxious attachment, let's talk about avoiding emotional distance, starting with avoidant attachment. Do you ever feel uncomfortable with emotional closeness? Like you need space even when someone cares about you. This might be avoidant attachment at play. While valuing independence is important, constantly pushing people away can create emotional distance, making meaningful relationships harder to maintain. How to move forward? Step 1, practice vulnerability in small steps. Vulnerability means being honest about your thoughts and emotions, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's about letting others see the real you. Start by sharing something small about your day with someone you trust. It could be as simple as, I had a really stressful meeting today. Keep it simple and specific. You don't have to dive into deep emotional topics right away. Why does this work? Sharing small personal experiences builds comfort with emotional openness without feeling overwhelmed. It strengthens trust while showing that vulnerability doesn't have to be dramatic or scary. Research on emotional intimacy shows that small acts of sharing gradually increases trust and closeness in relationships. Studies in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that people who practice emotional self disclosure report higher relationship satisfaction over time. If you want to learn more about being vulnerable, watch my next video linked in the description. Step 2, reframe independence doesn't mean avoiding emotional connection. You can be independent and emotionally connected at the same time. Think of a relationship as a supportive climbing rope. It doesn't hold you back, it keeps you grounded while you explore life. True independence isn't isolation, it's having someone support you while still being free to pursue your goals. So, why this is important? Avoidant behaviors often come from fearing dependence or feeling trapped. But healthy relationships offer support, not restriction. When you reframe independence this way, you will feel more comfortable being emotionally open. Research on interdependence theory shows that relationships thrive when both partners support each other's personal growth while staying emotionally connected. Mutual support leads to longer lasting, more secure relationships. Step 3. Notice when you pull away. Pulling away happens when emotions feel too intense or conflict seems overwhelming. Learning to recognize when you are shutting down is the first step toward managing it. The next time you feel like shutting down during a disagreement, pause and stay present for just 10 more seconds. For example, instead of leaving the room or going silent, try saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need a moment, but I want to continue this conversation later. This shows you are still engaged but need time to process. Why does this work? Avoidant attachment often leads to emotional withdrawal when things get difficult. Staying present, even for extra seconds, rewires your brain to feel safer during emotional conversation. Research on attachment theory shows that building emotional awareness and practicing openness in small, manageable steps can reduce avoidant behaviors over time. Studies published in Attachment and Human Development found that individuals who learn to stay present during emotional discussions developed greater emotional security and relationship satisfactions. Now, let's talk about one of the most complex attachment styles, fearful avoidant attachment, and how to begin healing from its emotional push pull patterns. Do you find yourself craving emotional closeness only to pull away when someone gets too close? This pull push dynamic might be a sign of fearful avoidant attachment. It can create instability, leaving you feeling exhausted, confused, and disconnected from meaningful relationships. Step 1. Practice self compassion. Self compassion means treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you are struggling emotionally. When you notice feelings of shame or self blame, pause and reframe your reaction. I'm reacting this way because I learned to protect myself, but I can choose a different response now. This shifts your mindset from criticism to understanding. Why this is important? Many emotional struggles come from deep rooted survival mechanisms your brain developed to keep you safe during difficult experiences. By acknowledging your emotions without judgment, you disarm your inner critic and create space for healing. Research in psychology shows that practicing self compassion can reduce anxiety, depression, and relationship insecurity. Studies published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that individuals who used self compassion techniques experienced lower emotional distress and improved coping skills. Step 2. Journal your fears. Journaling your fears is a powerful way to explore your emotions and uncover the real reasons behind your triggers. When you feel emotionally triggered, write down what you are afraid of. Ask yourself, what am I really scared of happening? For example, if you worry your partner will leave after a disagreement, explore whether this fear comes from past experiences or your current reality. Why does this work? Writing down your fears externalizes negative thoughts, helping you see patterns and recognize when old ones are influencing present emotions. This makes it easier to challenge irrational fear patterns before they escalate. Studies in trauma informed therapy show that journaling can reduce emotional intensity by helping you process difficult emotions and gain insight into your thought patterns. Research published in the Journal of Counseling Psychology found that regular journaling increased emotional resilience and improved relationship satisfaction. Step 3. Seek professional support. Therapy can help you explore past experiences that shaped your attachment style and learn new ways of relating to others. Working with a therapist allows you to process painful memories that might still influence how you trust, connect, and communicate. For example, if past betrayals make it hard to trust others, therapy can help rebuild emotional safety through guided emotional processing. Why this is important? Some emotional patterns are deeply rooted and require expert guidance to understand and heal. Therapy provides a safe space where you can revisit difficult experiences without feeling overwhelmed. Research in trauma informed therapy shows that working with a therapist significantly reduces relationship anxiety, trust issues, and emotional avoidance. A study published in Clinical Psychology Review found that therapy helps individuals develop emotional resilience and strengthen relational bonds. Now that we have explored attachment styles, let's build healthier relationships, focusing on emotional skills that create trust, understanding, and long lasting connections. Healthy relationships aren't about being perfect, they are about practicing emotional skills that build trust, understanding, and connection. Even with the best intentions, relationships can face misunderstanding and conflicts if you don't have the right tools. Learning how to communicate, set boundaries, and manage emotions is what helps relationships thrive. So, I'm suggesting three-step plan for building healthy relationships. Step one: communicate honestly. Honest communication means sharing your feelings and needs clearly and respectfully. It's about expressing yourself without blaming or criticizing. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," this sounds like an accusation. Try, "I feel unheard." When we talk about important things, can we find a better way to communicate? This opens the conversation without triggering defensiveness, making the other person more likely to listen and respond. Why does this matter? When you express emotions without attacking or blaming, it creates emotional safety in the relationship. The focus stays on finding solutions instead of assigning blame. Research in relationship psychology shows that non blaming communication improves emotional intimacy and conflict resolution. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationship found that emotionally honest conversations are linked to deeper trust and long term relationship satisfaction. Step 2: set boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they are about protecting your emotional well being while still staying connected. For example, you could say, "I'm happy to help, but I can't talk about this after work hours. I need time to recharge." This lets others know what you need without feeling guilty or over explaining yourself. Why this is important? Without boundaries, you may feel overwhelmed, drained, or even resentful. Boundaries create clarity around what's okay and what isn't, helping to maintain respect and mutual understanding. Studies on emotional health found that boundary setting leads to less stress, higher self esteem, and stronger relationship bonds. Research in the Journal of Family Therapy shows that couples who clearly express limits experience fewer conflicts and greater satisfaction in their relationship. Step 3: celebrate progress. Small wins matter. Acknowledging even minor improvements helps reinforce positive behavior, making healthy communication a lasting habit. If you stay calm during a disagreement or clearly express a need, take a moment to acknowledge that progress. For example, "I managed to stay present even when I felt triggered." That's growth. This creates momentum, encouraging both you and your partner to keep improving. Why celebrate small wins? Emotional habits take time to build, and consistent reinforcement makes healthy behavior automatic. Recognizing your efforts motivates your brain to repeat those behaviors. Research in positive psychology shows that celebrating progress, even small steps, increases motivation, reduces conflict, and strengthens relationship bonds. Studies in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that acknowledging progress creates emotional resilience and enhances overall happiness. Building healthy relationships isn't about being perfect, it's about practicing. Every small effort brings you closer to the connections you deserve. Changing your attachment style isn't about becoming someone new. It's about learning healthier ways to connect and support yourself emotionally. Even small efforts can create meaningful change over time. The more you practice, the more secure and balanced your relationship can become. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing the strategies we have discussed today. Healing takes time, but every small step counts. Let me know in the comments which strategy you plan to try first. I would love to hear from you. If you have watched up to this point, hit the like button. That helps in two important ways. It lets me know this content helped you. Two, it helps others find these life changing tools. Remember, growth is a journey, not a destination. You are capable of creating healthy relationships one step at a time. Behavioral research shows that even small habit changes practiced consistently can lead to long term emotional growth and stronger connections. Thank you for watching. Good luck.